that I ended the broadcast initially, in a way that, as we were about to kick off, I had to end because of the activities around me. So I'm sorry about that. But, I'm back now. We're going to continue this broadcast. We're going to continue the broadcast now. I want to welcome you, please, as you come in, just join in and then add somebody else to join in. And let's write this together. Let's do this together. It's important that we educate ourselves, especially with the criminality going on everywhere. You know that freedom fighting is a very potent weapon for criminals because they know the emotion of those people who are in trouble or those who are actually, you know, um, under, slavery is very vulnerable. They know the emotion of those who are slaves, who are under slavery is vulnerable. So all they do is capitalize on that vulnerability to rob the people of what they are, who they are, and all of that. So if we don't have this opportunity and if we don't cash into this opportunity to begin to get people to understand this, we might end up having, the real chance of getting our people understand what is happening, and at the same time be able to have our people also prepare themselves very effectively to defend evil and to defend their future by getting rid of all these criminals. We don't have the culture of dealing with criminals. We don't have the culture of dealing with criminals in Biafra land because we always tolerate criminality. We always allow criminals to go get away with what they do. It's been like that, and that's why we are still struggling very, very hard to succeed in what we are doing in the pursuit of our freedom. But we know that in spite of that, it will give us a way and an option, a way where we'll be able to do this stuff. Very, very important. Sorry, please, I just have to put some stuff down here so that I'm just trying to make some solutions here, please. So give me just 1 minute, and 1 minute I'll be through. Um, okay. All right. All right. All right. So good to have you here. Now, I want to go critically into the message. I don't want to waste any time. Based on the fact that we don't even have time, we go straight to point. I was telling you initially that I am going to give you the message from the criminal in Finland, giving you the reason for organizing a referendum convention. I'm going to give you that message from him directly. Good to have you here, Mr. Docker. It's good to have you. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you. Now, listen. He said, and he gave the specific reasons. Thank you so much, Ego. Good to have you also. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. My comrades that are very effective. Now, not believing in lies, holding on to the truth. Now, um, now, he gave a reason. He told us, he told you, and told the public that this and this and this is the reason or are the reasons why I organized the referendum convention. But some of you didn't take notice of it. But I'm going to give it to you tomorrow. I'm going to give you the message. I'm going to bring it out to you from his mouth, from the criminal's mouth in Finland, where he gave you reasons why he organized that convention. It was not actually for to prove that he's getting closer to Biafra. It was actually for something you would love to know. So shocking when I listened to that. Very, very shocking. But some of you might have heard it, but you didn't you weren't conscious of it. I'm going to reveal it tomorrow. I'm going to reveal it tomorrow so that you can understand what he said. But for today, we're going to be looking at the message from himself to Critic, and the guy who organizes the Critic News platform, and what the response he gave to the guy out of, the fact that he didn't expect that anybody who is under his spell should be asking him questions. Anybody who is under that spell that have kept them in bondage, where they are no more, they are not asking for accountability, they are not asking for transparency, they are not asking for anything. As long as you are under that spell, when you ask critical questions, it begins to look like that charm or that juju is faded. And that is why he was so furious that he responded to Critic News to the point of calling everyone who is part of who is under him idiots and illiterates. Now I'm going to play it. Listen to Critic News when he was asking questions.
My question is, Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of government in exile, have said that Biafra is
this stuff should not delay today.
Coming in 2023, which is this year. We have few months to go, and I want to ask if it is still coming. But what has been causing problems is when there are lies. And
now listen, he said, I want to know if it is still coming. Very, very good question for a good follower, for a dedicated follower, right? How does that cause offense? He said, as a follower of a criminal, he said that he wants to know if what the criminal promised them is still coming. Should that be an offensive question? But to a criminal, it's offensive. Whenever you are on now, do you know why it is offensive when it has to do with the criminal? I judge it with this fact. The reason why Mazen Amekano is in the dungeon of the DSS is because he says he wants freedom, right? The reason why he was arrested in 2015 was because he said he wants freedom. So how would someone say, I want to be free, and you arrest the person? How has it become an offense? That is what it is. When you, as someone who desires something good for yourself, when what you are asking would give you is an answer that will better your life, the captor or the slave master feels offended. So just like Nigeria would arrest you and kill you for saying Biafra, the same way also Simon would be offended and angry and be so gross with you for asking a question that made you follow him. That's it. So you see, very legitimate question, very reasonable question, but here the response, you are going to understand how he responded to this stuff. You're going to understand how he responded to it. Now, but the guy now said something critical, which I want you to understand, because when we are into things as sensitive, freedom fighting, every detail must be taken cognizance of. You must observe to understand the approach, the behavior, the tactics, the mannerism, the idiosyncrasies of the people who are coming all out to shout on your behalf, or else you're going to be in trouble. You know why? The slave master, the enemies, know that you are very vulnerable based on the fact that you're a slave. They know you are emotionally battered. They know you are in a position where you don't reason properly anymore based on the fact that you grew up in slavery and your life has been run by the program of slavery. People say the question is on point. Yes, very on point. They know that based on that, it's natural. Just take a child now and put the child in a place where there is violence every day. The child is going under that particular situation. You'll discover something. The child will begin to grow to understand violence as a normal way of life. That is why you can see a young boy in 10-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy in a very, or maybe in a terrorist organization. He picks up AK-47. He's trigger happy. He wants to shoot. You begin to wonder, how come this small boy is so excited? He wants to kill. How can you see a young boy of 18, 19 cutting somebody's neck with a knife and he's excited? Shooting sporadically, shooting randomly, and he's excited because he grew up to understand that violence and this way of life is very, very okay. So when you find a situation where a particular order is normalized, the slave master is excited about your situation being normalized in slavery, because he knows that if your mindset becomes normalized with your situation as a slave, you will keep serving him and keep serving him, and he will keep using you to fulfill his own destiny or his own expectations or his own purposes or his own criminality. So all he wants is to make sure that whatever you encounter, whatever you listen to, whatever you talk, whoever you talk to, and whoever relates with you must be something or somebody who is also very, very deeply rooted in deception and the approach slave master. And that thing or that person must be instrumental to sustain you in that slavery mentality. That's the plan. That's what that slave master wants to achieve. So he wants to make sure that whatever thing you encounter under his care, not his care, his control, should make you love your chains. Should be something that will make you continually desire to be under chains. Is they pick the best, the best criminals in your territory, who are your kinsmen within you. Smart people are always vulnerable. You are smart, but you are not subject to intelligence. You don't reason properly. Your smartness automatically converts to evil and becomes contradictory to intelligence. In fact, your smartness becomes the tool to destroy you and destroy society. So that is why what happens is when you see a child, what you do, they talk about garbage in, garbage out. When you're training the child is smart, but is still blank in the level of intelligence. All you need to do is now you begin to impute into the child the ability to reason properly, so that in spite of the smartness of the child will reason well to convert that smartness for the benefit of humanity and for the benefit of themselves. Yes, that's it. He's so excited to see people follow blindly without questioning. That's the point I'm going. Now listen, the slave master knows how they are masters in deception. They have mastered the concept of deception. Let me tell you something. Britain is a master nation of deception. They have hijacked, they have put in slavery, they have controlled till today. They are controlling so many nations. You can imagine Britain controlling a nation as far into the place like Australia and all of those places where they had their colonies, directly or indirectly controlling the minds of people all over the nations of the world. As big as America is, America still wants Britain to be to be its ally, to continue to. They always want to follow what Britain is talks about, because they came out of there, and of course they cannot leave that sentiment. Now listen, people like the criminal in Finland, who they understands that they are selfish and greedy. That's why I say they contract smart people. They contract them in different ways, whether they send their representatives into their midst to attract them based on what they know they like somebody like Simon, who has been desiring to escape poverty. So all he needed to do, what the criminals, what the Nigeria contraction called the Fulanis had to do is this: to get people like Ngozi Arabuze who have the cash. They know Simon wants money. Once he sees money, it's good to go. That's why he's dancing around and Ngozi Arabuze. They are the ones who are bringing the donors. They are the ones bringing the people. Ngozi and Oge is contributing. They are giving money. I was there. So I'm telling you what I know. I see the way he listens to them, the way he talks. When they say yes, he wants to take it. When they say no, he wants to take it. He always, and if he feels that it's might not, he will now want to try to explain to them in a very polite way. But he talks to other people the way he wants to and give issues others. But when it comes to Ozer and okay, who are those major financiers, he tries to manage his words. They have known him, they know that he traveled abroad looking for greener pastures. So they know he needs money badly. They know he's this type who is after money. They saw him build this platform looking for trying to monetize here. So this one is desperate for money. They saw his tactics, how he began to utilize the opportunity Martin Amicano had given to him or has given to him and begin to manipulate it for himself. And they saw how he moved from being spokesperson to being an ambassador or whatever he called himself, and until he got to the point of calling himself a prime minister and now calling himself commander-in-chief. They understood all of this stuff. So they know this guy is desperate, he needs money. So they keep using people like Ngozi Rabuize to fund him, and the politicians also using Ngozi Rabuize and Oge to fund him. You know why? The slave master knows your weak point. So directly or indirectly, they know how to approach you, to use you to control the people. So people who are under slavery are very vulnerable. Unless they escape the realm of emotions, they will continue to become the scapegoats, used as scapegoats, and they'll continue to become the ones, being exploited, and they will continue to face their doom stronger. That is why when you are talking about something as sensitive as freedom fighting or fighting for your freedom, you must understand that number one point is that you are the first stakeholder. Nobody else is more important than you. Oh my God, I wish people would understand this. You see, in the quest for my freedom, because when I talk about my freedom, I'm talking about the freedom of everybody who is under the same nation as I am. In the quest for my freedom, I am the first stakeholder, because I must first get myself in the right frame of mind before I can understand when you are not on the right frame of mind. Because by your fruits I shall know you. But if I don't understand the fruits and what they represent, I would not know how to explain and define you. So to know the fruits and how they operate and what they represent, I must understand the fruits through myself. How I behave, how I operate, the things I do, and all of this. These are the things that take me to understand, to the point of understanding you better by what you show. You can't talk about freedom and you are taking for granted the issue of accountability and transparency. Then you are doomed. You can't talk about freedom and you can't ask questions and somebody gives you answer and knowing that they are your servant, not your master. When somebody gives you an answer like he's your master, when the person is fighting for freedom, saying he was fighting for your freedom, know that that person is another emperor. Because the only way the slave master is keeping you is by trampling on you and not giving you the opportunity to voice trampling on your human right. So when somebody else comes and says he's fighting your freedom and he's insulting you and telling you can't ask questions, in fact telling you that you have to pay money before you can speak to him or ask him questions, or insulting you because you asked a genuine, formidable, and a question that is on point, then you know that he's another emperor trying to overtake one particular realm of emperor so that he could get you out of the hand of the Nigeria and the British contraption and then put you under his own control. That's why you see things happening in Mali and other places, Sudan and all those places. The people who fought for their for their freedom, for them to have their independence, are people who want to have the people under them. So they create laws, draconian laws and different things to make sure that after they free the people from the British contraption, from the hands of the British, they would now still control the people using their ideas gotten from the British on how they were able to suppress Africa. That's what is happening. And of course, Britain likes it because they know that these ones will always report to them, claiming of wanting to destabilize Anambra when MNK court appearance is so near and people can see it. Of course, we have been talking about it. Whenever Mazin Namik court case is coming, he wants to do something to make it look like it is his action that will make the court take the decision at that moment to free him. For instance, the other times he was thinking that maybe they might free him, It seems this time they will not want to keep him since the court has given order. Supreme Court has also given order. Appeal court has given order and all of that. When he was coming from that point, he was trying to make sure that every court case he makes his voice loud. promote himself very well, so that it will be like, in case they release him in this particular court case, then it will be that it's what he gave orders. I told them that if they don't release him, I was going to this time around, I'm going to increase and I'm going to burn down the zoo, or I'm going to increase my action on the zoo. That is why they considered and they are afraid and they released him. That narrative is what he wants to sell. And people yet are not seeing this. How come they can't see? How come they can't understand? How come they are so emotionally battered? They have been destroyed, so they don't reason. So it is what he tells them. They want to get excited. You know, when people are emotionally battered, they're always looking for satisfaction from anything. Just like somebody whose girlfriend has somebody he loves very well has abandoned him. Sometimes they go into alcoholism. Sometimes they go into becoming rapist, or going to trying to break people's hearts and all of that. Emotional decisions begin to take place from there. Everything they do at that point becomes very emotional, so that they don't reason constructively of the repercussion of their actions. So when people are battered emotionally, they tend to react by emotions, because when they have suffered some serious things in their lives, they always want to go in the line of operating based on emotions. So based on the fact that he knows that his people are already battered by slavery, he keeps stirring their emotions and using it to defraud them. But somebody should tell him. I know he is going to watch this, or he has his man watching anyways. We have people watching now, they watch later. That we know all this noise. We are familiar with it. Whenever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court case is coming up, we'll start, stirring up the waters as if he's the one who is going to create a situation that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released. Foul. We know that one. We know it's a lie. We know. We are smarter than him. He had ever been their slogan. Don't ask, as I once said so to the donors. Of course, that's their slogan. Don't ask. You don't ask. When you ask, that means you are beginning to, that spell on you is beginning to, to fade. That means, and just like one of my friend, I don't want to mention him, he's a very popular person in the zoo then, especially the music angle, very popular person anyways. And one day we went to his house, and he was, we told us he was on his way returning, and then we were there, and he has about 15 dogs or over. He has crocodile in his house, he has snakes, he has different cage for different things, and of course he's into some demonic things. He's Hare Krishna anyways. He's a Hare Krishna man. So some of you might know who I'm talking about now, that I've mentioned this. So now he now that was in 2006 or 5, 2006, 2005. So he has over 15 dogs, or about 15. I remember one day I sat in the sitting room, I almost died. He was upstairs. My friend also had gone upstairs to meet him. I was sitting in the sitting room downstairs. Only me, and I began to see dogs, almost tall like me. The dogs were entering the sitting room one after the other. Only me, nobody to save me in case they attack me. I said, my heart was beating, but I sat confident. I was trying to be confident. They just came around me, sniffing me and all of that. About 5 or 6 of them just came around me. Hey! I felt like, Lord, please, is there any way this ground will open so that I can go like Tom and Jerry from this ground and come out to the other place, out of the gate? But of course, I had to sit down quietly. And they said he was busy upstairs doing his Hare Krishna prayers. And my friend was upstairs waiting at the sitting room upstairs. And I was downstairs with dogs that. So I'm returning from, I think I have a network problem. Okay, I hope the network is set now. Please, can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. So one day, coming in, and then when he drove in, normally when he comes in, the dogs would come around him and celebrate him and dance around him and come, you touch their heads and all of that. So this particular dog didn't come to him. That dog didn't come to him. That dog just sat where it is. Just sat at the corner. He went to his room, got out his gun to the dog. Now I later came to understand that once these dogs I'm talking about, even if he is like, once he is returning, they will know he's coming back. They will start reacting, knowing that he's coming back. So when this dog didn't move, this dog just sat one place. He just brought his gun out, shot the dog. And I later came to understand that all these dogs are under his spiritual control. Once one of them don't behave the way they're supposed to behave, loyal, that means the spiritual grip on that one, based on the narrative that one conveys in the spiritual realm, that the spiritual grip is getting out of that one, and it's dangerous to their spiritual life. So he shot it and killed it. That's a dog that has stayed with him for a long time. He killed the dog. I said, wow. The same way also, this critic news is supposed to be like all those Gaddafi and all those 247 and all those Aparawa, all those what's the name? What's the one that called himself Bam Bam Bam, and all those people. They were, anytime he comes, they will be dancing around him. He'll be rubbing their heads and talking about. Once critic news ask question, that means you didn't come around for him to rub your head. The next thing is shoot him. That's what happened in this situation. He shot the guy. Now, critic news made a particular point here. He said that the problem we have is when there are lies. Now, the question is, the problem we have been having is because of lies. Now, if the problem you have been having is because of lies, and you hear of so many lies being told over time in this particular narrative of freedom, and you have been told lies over and over, then what is making you stay with this person who is lying to you? That is people should ask that question. Spare. Just like that dog. They're under spare. And you know why that spell is so potent? Spells look for weakness of people, and that is what they utilize to hold the people to ransom. For instance, somebody who gets a naked with a man or a woman, because you have something in your hand that can implicate them, you tend to use it as a means of making what you want to do, right? Either use it to demand for money or for anything, because you know that you have something. If they don't cooperate, you're going to deal with it. Now, these same people are under him, and he expects them to always, when he's returning, once he comes out, they'll just be dancing around him, singing his praises, and he'll be rubbing their heads and all of that. Raf, all of them. And then somebody like to critic news now refused to come for him to rub his head. Now going to sit somewhere. The next thing he did is brought out his gun. He now insulted him and now told him how all of them must be. Because when that dog was shot, the others didn't react. That shows that they are all stupid. It's the same narrative with what I'm saying now. When the other dogs was shot, the others didn't react to the dogs that have been shot. Because normally dogs should react when they kill one of their own. The others will react. But they didn't react. Under spare. When critic news spoke and he insulted all of them, including critic news, none of them reacted. Rather, they are praising him. They're saying, oh, it's good, it's nice, just leave it, it's okay with us. We are stupid, we are idiotic, we are illiterates. Just leave us to be stupid and illiterates. When you tell them this man called you stupid, you say, oh, yeah, of course we have to be loyal. We have to be loyal. Critic news said that the problem we have been having is when there are lies. How come somebody who calls himself critic news knows that there are lies and he is still following after the lies? Oh my God, something is wrong somewhere. Now let me play on because of time. Because there's something.
I ask questions, then people go to the next day. I remember some of you are making broke.
Now listen to his narrative. I think I've explained this before, but I just want to play it to this point, to where I get to where I'm going to get to.
I'm saying, I said 160 days, this Biafra will come. Yes. The process of that 150 days Biafra will come have achieved its aim.
Now you see the way he said that. Yes, you know that he wants to say something that he knows that is not true. Yes, he said it in a way to try to assure himself and give himself the courage to vomit the nonsense he's going to say next. The process or the reason for that particular narrative of 150 days has been achieved. Now, the big question here now is, what is the reason and what has been achieved that makes 150 days to achieve Biafra achieved when people have not gotten Biafra? I'm just using common language so that people can understand, because some people say I speak too much grammar. So I'm trying to make the grammar very simple so that people will understand. What if you say now, if he is saying now that the purpose of setting the 150 days has been achieved, the process has been achieved, the reason and the purpose of setting or counting 150 days has been achieved, then what has been achieved? That's what common sense would ask. Am I correct? So now let's listen to what has been achieved. Now that's the narrative, where it comes from, and then understand what has been achieved. Listen.
What the idea of 150 is to throw Nigeria off balance during the election.
Throw Nigeria off balance, right? That's what he said. Now, how becomes the question, because Nigeria held the election. They voted and they got the so-called president. They are still there. The so-called president is giving his policies and basing everybody here and there, shifting their jaw, packing them. You know what you call packing? When they rake you, that's what we call raking. Doing them anyhow, slap them, give them frog jump. They're dealing with them in the zoo called Nigeria. Now, he said that the process has been achieved. We now ask the question, how? He said, by destabilizing Nigeria. Now, let's look at it. How is Nigeria destabilized? How is Nigeria swept off its feet according to what he has said? Now, listen to how his own interpretation of how Nigeria has been swept off its feet. Listen.
We achieved it. We threw Nigeria off balance because of our car.
He threw Nigeria off balance because of their countdown. How? That's the big question. Now you are going to hear the answer to that question from him. Listen.
They started calling Finland.
They started calling Finland. That is how he threw Nigeria off balance. The purpose the 150 days is to make Nigeria begin to ask about him and call Finland, and that will give him popularity, common sense. Common sense. He threw Nigeria off balance by the fact that Nigeria began to call Finland, gave him the popularity, and that process of calling because of him is the reason for the 150 days. And the reaction is that they started calling Finland. Why were they calling Finland? To talk about him, and when they got him, you will hear it in the news, because you are a voice, they will post it on Daily Trust or whatever they call it. Then another one will post it on this one. They will begin to sponsor stuff. They will begin to using it to popularize him. These people, and they keep keeping Nnamdi in the dungeon to make sure that the people get distracted and to think that their solution is in the election. And as Simon is being used to distract the people, and the people keep talking and praising Simon and say, yes, they will be busy preparing for the election, and the election will go smoothly without any hitch. So, answer has been gotten. He said he put Nigeria in confusion, or whatever, however he put it. How? By them calling Finland. That is the reason for the 150 days. So we talk about it. So let's go forward.
Started inviting the ambassador of Finland. It started creating the highest global awareness of Biafra.
Did you hear that? So the calling of Finland and the talking to the ambassador of Finland started creating global awareness of Biafra. Now, how does him being talked about create global awareness for Biafra? Biafra is already having that global awareness when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu truly stands for Biafra. So his extraordinary rendition protest here and there have created the global awareness already. How come he's now attributing the fact that Finland, just Finland, was called a global awareness of Biafra? Simply put, the Biafra he's talking about here now, rather than putting his name, to put Biafra to make you feel good. Because Biafra is already having that global awareness. Mazin Namdekan's kidnapped brought awareness everywhere. Protests everywhere, all over the nations of the world. Now, calling only Finland was to give him an opportunity to climb in Finland. He wanted to be popular in Finland. He wanted to go into the electoral, wanted to be popular in Finland, where in his community, all this community election, all this community thing that is making you feel like it is one heavy political appointment in whether in the house of, whatever house they have there, making you feel like the election he's engaging in is one big election. It's not just community, whether you become a representative of the community for water, for this, for that, in a community, which anybody could go for. In a community where I am, I can decide to, campaign for a particular position. I run an NGO. My NGO is a community. It represents a whole lot because it works in the lives of the people in every community. So I have that status too as an ambassador. So that should not make me brag. But because he wants to sell himself as very important, so that they will look at him, wow, this guy is doing some stuff in Nigeria, he is well known, then it will now promote him in the locality where he is. MNK did that already. Global awareness, indeed. MNK already created a global awareness. There is awareness of Biafra everywhere. So which awareness now is he talking about by him just talking on social media? Ask yourself that question. Simple. The awareness we're talking about is already there. So that awareness he's actually pointing at is the one that will project him and put him on that position where he will now have a voice in his locality and now feel important as if he's well known all over the nations of the world, and then use that opportunity to build his platform, get millions of viewers, don't you see when he's screenshotting convention here, 2 million views, that is the target, that global attention. Not for Biafra. Biafra already has that global attention. The attention here now is for his own. Because Biafra, if he has sense, he knows that he knows that Biafra has that global attention already. It's not, you don't need anywhere you go, Biafra, yeah, Biafra, they talk about it anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. One of your minds, people talk about it. So which attention is he now talking about? He has shot himself on the foot by telling you that see, you should understand that Biafra he mentioned is not about Biafra, it's about him, because he's projecting himself using the takia of the word Biafra, so that when he mentions Biafra, you will be excited thinking it's about you. Takia. You people should reason, for God's sake. Are you foul? I don't know. You walk. Huh? You walk. Even me, they think. When they see, they will just do all of their stuff on all those kind of stuff. How can a human being with senses? You can't reason. Their friends are having the attention already. That is an insult on Mazin Namdekan. He's trying to say that he is the one bringing about global attention when we already have the attention all over the nations. Where have I gone where I talk about Biafra? People don't know. Where in this world? At least I've not traveled all over the world anyways, but I've gone to specific places. At least I've gone to a few countries, including the where I am in now. I've met different kinds of people like that. I never even believed that would know that there's something Biafra. I mentioned Biafra. Oh, okay, where one of your man is in prison. You'll be surprised. Oh, so these people know. They don't even mention Simon because they don't know him. But he wants to get that attention. That is his target. Mazin Namdekan news, even in the courts in Britain, British people have come out to protest. I'm talking about indigenous people, not those ones who traveled from Africa looking for green Africa. Indigenous people to protest against their own government. All over the nations of the world, in embassies, about Mazin Namdekan, placards everywhere. Even if the mainstream media didn't protect it, people know about it. They know that something is happening. So, what global attention? Common sense. What global attention is he talking about? His funding his own organization. He said Biafrans are funding his own organization that he said Biafrans are funding. His own organization, he said Biafrans are funding. Global attention he's talking about. Not of Biafra. Biafra is already having it. So common sense. Common sense. Now listen.
We achieved. And they think that I'm going to throw bomb in Aso Rock. Nobody will even listen. They did not take me seriously in the first place.
You guys, if not for the countdown, they did not take me seriously. Our people don't have sense. If not for the countdown, they did not take me seriously. If not for the countdown and the thing I'm doing, whatever you mentioned there, they think I'll throw bomb in Aso Rock. They did not take me seriously. It's not about, he was trying to say that people were thinking he's going to throw bomb in Aso Rock, because that's what he told them. He made them believe that he's going to burn down, he's going to get weapons and do everything. But the truth about it is that he wanted them to take him seriously. That means he wanted them to recognize. And he wanted the globe to understand that he is a major person. He is important. So now this tells you that it is actually about him. He said he wants them to take him seriously. So he needed to do the countdown. If not for the countdown, they wouldn't take him seriously. That's what he was saying. Right? If not for the countdown, they wouldn't take him seriously. So that means the countdown was for him to be taken seriously. Common sense, for God's sake. What is wrong with people? Yeah? What is wrong with you people, for God's sake? I'm asking these people. I know the reason. You think I have nothing to lose if you keep chasing shadows and clouds. I have nothing to lose, but I have to educate you, and I have to make you understand, and I have to keep saying it so that you will understand. I have to keep saying it. I have to say it. I have to keep telling you the truth, because that's what I came to Biafra to do, not to steal your money, not to begin to exploit you and tell you to fundraise and no. I don't need to do that. If I want to do fundraising, I know what to do. I know how to organize and create ideas, and people will give funds for it. Not for Biafra, not for freedom, not for my freedom, not for the freedom of my people. No, that's not what it is going to give me money. I will not be rich through that means. I will never, in fact, I'll get poor if I do that. I will create ideas. I have ideas. God give me ideas. Not for me to come and start stealing money. But check it out. This man said, it is because of them to take me seriously. I know that I am also important. That was why I arranged the 150 days. Now I have given you a clue to the reason why the 150 days was organized. Now let me go on, but tomorrow I'm going to elaborate on that fact and give you more clue from him why the 150 days was created or was, embarked on. What has all these claims contributed towards actualizing what he promises? Rather, it has brought loads of inconsistencies to the region, and that's the truth. Inconsistency, because he capitalizes on the situation, not minding how his people are feeling. All he wants to do is desperately get out of poverty and utilize the opportunity he has before the spell goes out of the people's eyes. He has to utilize the opportunity to make sure that he gets as much as he could get from you. That's why he was angry to respond to this guy like this. Don't use that 150 days to spoil my business here. This is the reason why I mentioned 150 days. I'm not here to give you Biafra. It was Ruke. This one didn't give you. That one didn't give you. Why would I be the one to give it? The reason was to make sure they take me seriously.
It created the wave, the shock wave that almost shook the foundation of Nigeria from February to
created a shock wave.
2023, leading to what shambolic thing they say. They even
created shockwave.
forged that the Prime Minister of Finland have ordered for the arrest of Simon Ekpa. It's because
simple. He is still pointing to the fact that it is about him. They have to, I have to be important. I have to be the one to be recognized. They even mentioned letter. That means it got to a point they had to write a letter, forging a letter. So everything was all programmed to give himself the boost. That was the purpose of all these. The purpose of all these. Tomorrow it's going to be explosive because I'm going to enlighten you more into these things. Because some of you need to listen to other people, whom God has helped to have ability to at least analyze some things. Simply put, it's just about God revealing the truth using some vessels, not people who pursue after themselves, pursue what they want to achieve for themselves. People who are going to tell you the truth. You see, people like us, accountability group, those ones who are genuine in accountability group, people like Ego and all that. At least I can vouch for Ego. We can never. You can't beat us. You can't beat us in standing for the truth. We would stand for the truth. Yes. How much do you want to give me to sell what money I can always make on my own? No matter how hard it takes, I will make it. Because God has given me the wisdom. Not to deceive people to make money or deceive you. For freedom of a whole nation and generations to come. Why am I? I can't do that. But it's not by what I say anyways, but it's by my actions and deeds. And our action and deed, that is why we set up a structure that will run independently of anybody. So that people like Simon and Azuka will not come and control funds and you will not know what they're controlling. But everybody will know that funds are outrightly and effectively managed. Everybody will know. Everybody will know because the structure itself gives no one person the control. 2, it makes no one person destroy if you leave. The structure is still moving. 3, it makes no one person in charge of disbursement and giving records. What happened is that Azuka is the one who is releasing the money. She's the one who is giving you records to them, telling you that they are using it well, telling you that they need so amount. She tells you they need so amount. The one they got was not enough. You don't know how much he said they got. She won't tell you. But she tells you that it was not enough, and she'll tell you that they need so amount more. You don't know whether that thing she's telling you is actually what is coming from the ground. It is true budget. How did they confirm and whatever? Look at what she came to tell us. When I started exposing Ngozi Orakwe before any other people like I want to use that as a way of trying to bring drug to himself criminally. Odikema was on that platform. She never mentioned anything. He was flowing with Ngozi Orakwe because he wanted to use her back to access more politicians in the north to make money for himself. When I came out to expose Ngozi Orakwe, he now started doing broadcasts, exposing Ngozi Orakwe. I said, look at criminals. So you must understand that structure is very important. When Ngozi Orakwe was being, what happened? The criminal said, no. She can be exposed. She's working for us. Till today, she's still working there. Structure is very important. No one person can control the funds. Azuka will come and tell you that we need 15 million now. She will not give you a record of the initial one. Simon will keep quiet. All of them will keep quiet. They need 15 million now. Initial money contributed. How much? No, it's not enough. That's what they'll tell you. That money is not enough. We just need 15 million more. Okay, the 50 million is for what? It's for the men. That's all. No team, no committee sitting to discuss and agree. No, nothing. Just one person stands up and talks rubbish, and all other people will be dancing around them, hailing them and praising them. What is wrong with you people, for God's sake? Are you just zoo animals? That's what I said. Zoo animals. They don't praise Nigerians. Listen.
Because of the countdown, 150 days countdown, everything is a process.
You hear that? Because of the 150 days countdown, they forged a letter about the prime minister, about him. They forged a letter inside the prime minister wrote, the prime minister of Finland wrote about him. It's about him. You know, so everything is a process. Everything is process. So the process leads to him being promoted and him making as much as he can make before your eyes will open. Everything is process. Now, let me tell you why I said the process is for him to make as much as he would make before your eyes will open. Listen to the next statement that he will make here. That tells you that he actually don't have the ability to give you what you thought he was going to give you, Biafra. He was actually trying to push you until you get to the point of releasing until the day you get tired. And then just like Asuka stylishly gone out of the picture, and she's now relaxing, eating the one she's eating, and they're still doing their back business because you have to keep her in the business too, to make sure she still gets her shit. So she doesn't somehow try to destroy things for them, because she doesn't care. She has told people that she can die in America. She doesn't need to come to Biafra land again. So those ones feel that they don't need Biafra land anymore. They have decided to be where they are. Now listen to what he said.
What we are fighting is war brain. Everything is not about what you said. It is a process and the tactics.
War of brain. Everything is not about what you said. So when I told you Biafra, I'm going to give you Biafra in 150 days, it was not about that. It was about brain. The brain here is that I want to make myself, I want them to recognize me globally. That's the brain. Listen.
That you must understand how freedom is being used, what we call propaganda.
You hear that? So deceiving you now, making you bring your hard-earned money, thinking you want to buy weapons to secure yourself or to secure your freedom, was not the truth. Was just propaganda. To get money, to get weapons for few men he will be using to cause confusion in Biafra land, and to extract and extort money from kidnapping people, extorting money from politicians, and making noise so that you hear that he's making noise, and then you keep believing in him, thinking that he's working for your freedom. You keep contributing. Now that noise is two ways. He gets money from the politicians by kidnapping them. Then second way is that to continue to make you believe so that you keep contributing every Saturday and other days. You go say he's talking to his who can decode. That's the truth. Listen.
A positive and realistic propaganda against your enemy. And that's what we have done.
Okay.
So now, the 150 days has passed. The idea of 150 days is not that to declare Biafra. Your Biafra that Wazirike did not declare.
The idea of the 150 days is not that we will declare Biafra. The Biafra that Wazirike couldn't declare, and that's when he now started giving you the reason and the idea behind the fact that what he talked about was not for that purpose. He said the idea of that 150 days is not for to declare. It's not for him to declare Biafra. But he told you he's going to declare Biafra. He made so many statements, even made emergency broadcasts to that effect. Listen.
Between 2022 and declare it.
The Biafra Wazirike couldn't declare in 1999 to 2007 or so. Is it me that will declare it in 2023? Listen.
Get from 1967. Is this Simon Ekpa that is going to between 2022 and 2023? All of you.
The Biafra Ojukwu couldn't get in 1960. Is this Simon Ekpa that will now declare it in 2022, 2023? So what is the essence of fronting yourself and telling the people that you... What's the essence? Common sense would be with them, because it was actually to dodge you, because he made you believe that he's going to give it to you. Now he's saying that it's a process. That the process to do. The process is that he continues to by making you believe that the Biafra meant to, to promote himself and all of that, That is, the Biafra is meant to be achieved. But the essence of the whole thing is to promote himself until your eyes open. And so he indirectly gives you a clue to the fact that he actually cannot give you the Biafra. He said, go back and listen to what he just said. Maybe later you listen to this broadcast again and see if I'm telling you lies. I'm not here to deceive you. Why would I deceive you? Why? Simon is in truth, on the path of truth. Why would I was supporting him when I felt he was on the path of truth. I wrote many letters. I wrote some letters that some of you read on social media, read on Twitter and all of that. Some of them I wrote. Those ones you see with some bad English and not well composed, I'm not the one who wrote those. But the ones I wrote, if you read the ones I wrote, read my articles, you know the ones I wrote, including the one that told you that the Biafra currency have been changed to dollars. And then when the thing now got to the climax was when they now started saying they want to start putting their faces on the currency. And also, to appease me, also they said they will also put my face on the currency. And I said, no, it would work. We have not achieved anything. None of our faces must be on the currency. That's why today they didn't mention the currency. Because they know that that war and that battle has been fought. And the argument cannot be quantified. But now he's telling you about army and calling himself commander-in-chief. For God's sake, don't you understand what treason is? Or you people don't understand? Oh Lord, I don't like insulting you guys, but you people should listen, for God's sake, for once. You know what it means to be a commander-in-chief? That means you have displaced mass in Afghanistan. Somebody's telling me that when Moses, something happens, and another Moses is raised. Now listen, he said, how do you think that I would give you Biafra? When somebody like Joju couldn't declare it, couldn't give it to you, even when he declared it. Somebody like Wazuke couldn't give you. Is it me that will now give you? That's what he said. And what does that mean to a common, somebody who is reasonable? Just common sense. What does it mean? It simply means that the purpose of that 150 days was not for the purpose of declaring Biafra or giving Biafra. And he said it clearly. Go back to this. When you finish, just go back and listen to it. You hear it. You hear it. He said, hear it. Now listen.
You are just very idiotic. And some of you illiterate like this critics news.
You are just idiotic, talking to his listeners like this Ifeanyi Anyanso or whatever his name is. You are just idiotic. And some of you being not only idiotic and illiterate, like this one too, coming on this platform, seeing the argument, rather than him defend and argue, he's coming to insult. Don't you see? Two things is involved. One, you are idiotic. Two, you are an illiterate. That's what the criminal in Finland have said. And it stands. None of them could question it because they are truly idiotic and illiterate. He said, you, all of you, he said you, that means meaning all of you. But when he says you, he didn't specify. All of them were talked about. You are idiotic. Two, some of you now who are idiotic are illiterate. But the truth about it is that even at the point of having that some being illiterate, it actually extends to those some that are still idiotic, because everyone is idiotic and everyone is behaving like illiterate, so everyone is illiterate. That's what he's trying to say. Common sense. He was so pissed. He was wondering at the audacity that somebody who is supposed to be running around him, called Critic News, who is supposed to be running around him and eating his vomit, eating his shit, eating the crumbs around him, is now coming to ask question. Is Biafra, are you going to give us Biafra in 2023? And some of these lies. Who gave him the guts? That's what he's trying to say about Critic News. Who gave Critic News the guts to say this kind of things? It seems that the juju is now going out of dice. He insulted them by calling them idiots, and he now told them their position of their level of understanding. Because if you can think that I could give you Biafra, then you are just an illiterate. That's what he's saying. Even insulting them, that's it. Oh my, this is horrible. He called them idiots. Idiotic. If I ask him now, he said idiotic. He doesn't. If I tell him what part of speech is idiotic, he will not know unless he go into his phone. All of you too, he called idiots. If I ask you the meaning of idiot, you will just be looking because you don't even know. You will say foolish person, but go and look at it. You want to go to check the meaning. That's why you cannot. Oh my God! I'm sorry, Ifeanyi. I thought he said shut up. Oh my God, Ifeanyi, I'm sorry. Fine, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't. I know you. I find he's a fan. It's one of our people, not a fan. Anyways, I want. Fine, please forgive me. Not you, not you, not you. I thought it was this that guy, that Guterres and all of that, and I was thinking that is his name. That Anyanso was sounding like that Guterres to me, yeah, you know, and all of that. It was ringing that much because I know it's that Guterres that's always coming with all this kind of narrative. So I thought Ifeanyi mindset was. Although I read Ifeanyi Anyanso, but my mindset was going towards that person who is always coming with Guterres. Sorry, Ifeanyi, I'm really, really sorry. I'm really, please forgive me for this. Please, I'm not talking to Ifeanyi. I'm talking to those idiots. I thought he said, "Shut up, Kelechi. You remain un, underrated." That's what I read. Shut up, Kelechi. You remain underrated. So I was just wondering if that idiot has come again. So sorry about that. Please, I'm sorry, Ifeanyi. Please pardon me. Please send me a message and make me understand that you're forgiving me. I didn't mean to. I didn't read. Sometimes, you know, you just look at messages and you are talking, so you just look at them. Please, I'm sorry if I answer. Please, I am sorry. Let me dedicate 1 minute to apologize to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please pardon me on that. Very, very sorry for that. Very, very sorry for that. Honestly, then what is on my mind is that Guterres. Even if I read it, Anyanso, anyways, you know, Anyanso. Please pardon me. So now, you know, sometimes you make mistakes. So I know you have accepted my apology anyway. I know you are a good guy. Yes, I know you are a good guy. So you have accepted my apology. So I'm sorry about that. Now, the guy says, "You guys are idiotic." The Biafrans, idiotic, and illiterates. What other qualification do you need to know how this person spites you people? What other qualification do you need? What other way would they insult you to know how this person spites all of you? He believes that he will be wondering how he's raking in money. He will be wondering how stupid all of you. He didn't believe that Biafrans could be this stupid. He didn't believe that they could be this stupid. That's why he's so angry that this guy will be asking questions, because he believes that for the fact that people will start contributing money, and when people raise the question of you know, giving accounts, you people still didn't say anything. You people were still praising him and say, "Go on, don't give us accounts." He now understood that the stupidity he thought was just on average is maximal, is 120%. Thank you so much, Ego. When he has accepted. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling my attention to this. Oh my God, I wish, if you are not here now, I wonder what it would have been like. I would have just insulted my brother and embarrassed him for nothing. Sorry. So, you can imagine how he takes them in his heart, where he places them. You can imagine the level of spitefulness, how he spites them. You can imagine how he spites them. He spites them so much. He said they are idiotic. What it means to be idiotic. There's one animal called idiot. Go and watch the behavior of that animal. Just browse which animal is called idiot. You will know. And look at the characteristic of that animal. Then look at the meaning of the word idiot. Then you will understand how you are viewed by your so-called PM. By your so-called PM, the one you are healing, spending your airtime data, making nonsense, fighting people, looking for who to kill, sending threat messages everywhere for. You can understand how he views you. Illiterates, idiotic. For you to believe what he said. Verbatim. That means the way he said it, relatively, anyways. Literally, sorry. Thank you so much, Ego. Ego has joined me to apologize to my brother Ifeanyi. Thank you so much. I hope he's still here. I'm not seeing his message again. You know, I'm not seeing his message again. So Ifeanyi, please let me know you are here and you have accepted our apologies. At least I have a second witness of apology. She didn't offend you, but she's now apologizing to you on my behalf. So please accept the apology and forgive me. If not for me, at least for her, forgive me. I hope he's still here. I wish I could link him later. You know, so that is how he views you. Oh, ye idiots, according to how he called you. He views you as illiterate, was an idiot. He even got the guts to say like this illiterate critics. And let me not tell you this. Not only did he call him illiterate, he now also used him as a reference to all of his followers, as I've been saying. Now, he mentioned specifically what they cannot do, which he is doing. He feels they can't do all of this stuff. You hear it, listen. He feels they cannot do all of this stuff. So they are idiotic and illiterate. Listen.
Don't even know the difference between self-referendum convention and the referendum.
You see, he said they don't even know. They were jubilating, jumping around about referendum convention. He's now telling them that the reason why he's calling them idiots and illiterates is because they don't even know the difference between referendum convention and referendum. Because he was wondering how they were so excited about one program he called them to contribute money. It's where he's going to make more money from as a means of raising funds, and then put them in some places. They lodge and they rent a place, and then they enjoy themselves and go back, and then he goes in and counts his loot. He and the other boys and other people will go count their loot, and of course enjoy themselves in hotels and then go back home. He's wondering how these people think that mentioning referendum convention has given them Biafra. So he said they don't even know the difference. That's why they are illiterate. Now listen again, listen for God's sake.
I have people who agree with what I'm doing in the de facto government. We must have.
Now listen, I'm going to tell you further tomorrow why, according to him, from his mouth, why he or he organized Cont'd referendum convention. This is where I'm going to stop this broadcast now. Tomorrow, I am going to tell you why he organized the convention. He said by himself, from his mouth, why he organized the referendum convention. Please, please let me know you're here. I want to know that you have taken our apology. Know that you try to browse, please. We are people who have respect for our privacy. I don't know how I'm going to reach him. I don't have his number and all of that. I wish he could make me understand like this year. Maybe he got angry and logged off. I'm going on formally under this broadcast. So if you can see it, so let me write it so I don't forget. I'm going to post it under there, and I'm going to send an apology to him. So that I don't so I don't know why he's not responding. Maybe he has gone out. He's angry and he has gone out. I know that yes, he has been formidable. So I don't know why I mistook. I don't know why that happened. But anyways, please forgive me. Yes. Not an answer. Okay. All right. So we are going to end it here for today. We're going to end it here for today, and I want to thank you guys for standing strong and being here. Thank you, Ego, for the messages. Yamisi sent a message and ran away. So there's no more here. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow is a date. You would know why he organized the referendum convention, according to how he called it. And from his mouth, you'll get the evidence. I'm going to give it to you, and you will know why he organized the referendum convention. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Love you all. Please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. Share on your social media platforms and subscribe to the channel if you have not, so we can grow the channel for people to be able to access information about what we're doing and for it to be everywhere on social media. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. Very good. Please like this video also. Very, very important for you to like it so people can look at it and so wonder what you like and want to know what you like. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay blessed. God bless you. Very good. Till tomorrow, hopefully, by God's grace. Thank you.